Today, I'm going to make a spice cake. This is a really good recipe. If you want a cake that's going to be just not quite the same as everybody else is bringing, it's a basic spice cake, folks. It's a delicious cake, old-fashioned recipe. It really works well. And now this recipe's got a few catches to it. You know, you got to sift the flour twice. You measure it, sift it. So it's a little bit different on that. However, for the most part, it's just a good, old-fashioned, delicious spice cake recipe. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. Let's get in the kitchen. I'm going to show you the ingredients. We're going to get busy making this thing, and then I'm going to give you the rest of the recipe. Folks, this is spice cake. Let's get at it. Come on. Folks, this recipe calls for 2.5 cups of flour. But something you need to know. The recipe says sift before measuring 2.5 cups of flour. That doesn't mean use pre-sifted flour. That means go ahead, sift some flour, and then measure 2.5 cups of that sifted flour. You're going to re-sift it with other ingredients. The ingredients for this delicious spice cake are simple enough. All-purpose flour. I have some brown sugar here. You can use just a plain cane sugar for this if you don't have the brown or don't want to use it. Milk, butter, eggs, baking powder, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, ground cloves, and nutmeg to flavor this fantastic cake. Folks, let's get busy making this. Some things you want to do before you can get started making your cake, and that is, of course, we've pre-sifted the flour before measuring it. Now we have it back in the sifter. I need to put the rest of my dry ingredients in there. So the spices, salt, baking powder, and baking soda are all going to go in this, and I'll sift them together before making this cake. Also, on those eggs, make sure you separate them. You're going to need your egg yolks, not the whites. Okay, so that's the way this cake works. Once we have everything sifted, we're ready to start making cake. Everything is measured out, sifted, ready to go. Your butter has to be room temperature for this, folks. I'm going to cream together the brown sugar and the butter. I'm going to start by creaming that butter, getting it a little fluffy, then adding in the brown sugar. All right, once you've got those creamed together well, you're going to work in those egg yolks. After they're creamed in, then alternately between the milk and the flour, work those in to make a beautiful batter. After your batter's all produced, pour it into the pan. We're going to get busy baking it up, okay? As you're working out your cake, remember to go ahead and occasionally scrape the bowl. I'm about to get my egg yolks worked into the butter and sugar that I have creamed together here, and then I'm going to be working these other two into that. I would like to mention, go ahead right now, turn your oven on to 375 degrees. That'll be the baking temperature for this cake. And there it is, folks. Our cake batter is ready. Look at that, beautiful, kind of satiny looking. That is just what I'm looking for. Give it a quick stir. I'm just going to pour it right down in here. Come on, there we go. Now, just a matter of gently working this out, getting a nice even coat, and then we're going to get it in our oven. Our oven needs to be at 375 degrees, okay? Folks, oven at 375 degrees. I normally cook this cake in a little different kind of pan than this, and it normally takes me longer. So I'm expecting the cook on this to be somewhere around 30 minutes. I'll be checking it at 25 minutes. It'll probably need more cooking. I'm expecting it to. If it does, I'm going to leave it in there. And I'm expecting, like I said, somewhere around 30 minutes. Yeah, that's about right. There we go. The quantity of everything that was used today starts with the flour. That is 2.5 cups of flour. Now make sure you sift it before measuring that, okay? Makes a big difference. Almost a half a cup's worth, in fact. 1.5 cups of packed brown sugar, or just 1.5 cups of regular cane sugar will work. 1 cup of milk, 1/2 a cup of butter, 3 egg yolks, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and on those spices, that's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of the cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I've been here enjoying my cake. Reminds me of the old saying, you can't eat your cake and have it too. Which is true. Once you've eaten it, you don't get to have it. Folks, thank you very much for watching this video. Please enjoy this recipe. It's a real good one. If you would look down below here in the description box, you're going to see links to Texas Cooking Today, which is where you'll find the rest of my wonderful recipes. Also, there's a link down there for my website where you can get caps like this for the recipe, for this recipe, and others. And folks, those aren't cheap little, downloaded off the internet kind of recipes. They are very well done recipes with pictures, detailed instructions, and the kind of thing that makes it worth what I value them at. Folks, thank you very much for watching, and please enjoy your spice cake. I'm going to. Oh man, that's good.